Welcome, everyone. Tonight, we're going to be talking about the Eternals trailer. Marvel just dropped the final one. Interesting they said final. Looks like a lot they don't want to be revealed yet about this big, mysterious movie. Tonight's cast, we've got Dot Chris.
I is here.
Got TV's Casey.
Yo!
We got Jay's Mac.
What if I was eternal?
I am your host, Serge Bad Cody Funky. Welcome, guys. We're going to be talking about Marvel's Eternals. The final trailer dropped, boys. Let's get into it.
5 years ago, Thanos erased half of the population of the universe. But the people of this planet brought everyone back with a snap of a finger. The sudden return of the population provided the necessary energy for the emergence to begin.
Contractual incidences.
Guys, this is going to be Marvel's
How long
Armageddon.
do we have?
7 days.
It is. Yep.
Thank God.
What is it, The Ring? 7 days?
7 days.
We're Eternals. We came here 7,000 years ago
And we've
to
done
protect
nothing
humans
of
from
consequence.
deviants.
Dinosaurs and
Why didn't you guys help fight Thanos?
They're the reason
or
why
any
dragons
war, all the
don't
other
exist.
terrible things throughout history.
We were instructed not to interfere in any human conflicts unless deviants are involved.
By who?
that thing.
My God.
That's a
We need to find the others.
I haven't seen some of them for centuries.
Hi.
Hello.
Casey, I'm going to need
This
you
is
to
what
tell
the
me
end
what
of the
that big
world looks
giant
like.
thing is.
You've seen them before.
You know what's never saved the planet?
Yes,
Your
I saw them
sarcasm?
again this week,
Oh.
but I don't know what the heck it is.
We have loved these people since the day we arrived. When you love something, you protect it.
I keep forgetting whether it's. I keep forgetting which of the Game of Thrones guys are in this, and it turns out it's both.
That's what I was gonna say.
You can protect it.
But I don't get it. What season was Kumail Nanjiani in of Game of Thrones?
Any of them.
Season 9.
The good one.
He got lasers.
I bet you've built the perfect safe house. I mean, what's this even made of? Vibranium?
Fall collection. IKEA.
That's false. I worked at IKEA for 6 years. That's Hemnes.
Casey, big thing here. We got one of the Eternals that just appeared. Now, question for you. Is it Arishem the Judge, or is it Enos, the seer, the seeker?
I think it's Isan the Searcher. I think so. I think he's the same one that we see in Guardians of the Galaxy, who once had the Power Stone and blew up a planet. Remember that?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah,
remember?
So is he looking for his lost Power Stone?
I don't know. I don't know what
What
he's up to.
what
I
an
know that
idiot.
the Celestials' whole bag is that they're just conducting genetic experiments on planets over, for the existence of all time. In a couple of stories, they're the reason that like Earth has superheroes or mutants and Eternals in every case, but sometimes mutants and sometimes all superheroes in general. They're a big enigmatic bunch that can throw punchies with Galactus, so they're okay, I guess.
Damn, you don't sound too excited about.
I'm not really excited about this movie.
Why not?
Because I think the Eternals is like one of the last. It's like a C tier Jack Kirby property. Now I love Jack Kirby, right? The guy created essentially all the foundational elements of the Marvel universe. The Fantastic Four, the X-Men, the Avengers, the Wakes, the Hulk, everybody. And he really got his salt at Marvel doing, with God type stuff when he did Thor. And then he moved over to DC in the 70s and he did the New Gods. And then he came back to Marvel after his stint at DC and did the Eternals. And it's kind of like, all right, so if the Norse gods are your forerunners, and the new gods are a knockoff of them, albeit a better one. Then you do the Eternals, who are a knockoff of Greek gods. You know, who cares, really? You know? You can ask most major comic book fans, and they'll tell you, like, there's not really any major stories of significance that the Eternals appear in. They're always kind of in their own bubble, which, again, is fine, but it doesn't really garner a lot of people to be like, oh, Eternals, now that's a book I gotta read, or, like, here's something with the Eternals in it in an issue of Deadpool. Like, no, it doesn't.
But now in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, it looks like they're going to make them a thing because, you know, there's so many questions that people have about the Eternals, and one of them is, why did not interfere when Thanos came through? And they even said it in the trailer, like, why didn't you guys help out when Thanos came through?
Because we haven't been created yet.
I saw all the comments on the official YouTube channel. People are people are crazy online in the comments, man. Like, you will never defeat an online, like, comment section anywhere. Absolutely undefeated. It's just like, oh, why don't you help out? Because we weren't thought of yet. We weren't created. Yeah, we weren't a part of the storyline.
It's like, where were the X-Men during Infinity War? Like,
they didn't cut the check yet for us.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
That's it. They weren't cast. They weren't nothing.
You know,
so
I think this would be cool if it was just like, if you took the Marvel thing out of it. You know what I mean? I'd be interested in this.
You mean as its own IP?
Yeah, exactly. Like, I'd be like, oh, that's pretty cool. But because you're delivering it, because it is Marvel, it's like, well, I know that they're kind of scraping at the bottom of the barrel now for this.
And they don't have to.
No, I know they don't have to. But it's just like, it seems like it's late in the game, but that's also their phase 4. We're in phase 4, right?
Yeah.
Is that how we measure our time?
Oh,
yeah,
most definitely.
So we're in phase 4, right? Like, how do we measure our time? Like, this is probably the big movie of phase 4, right? If not, maybe like Thor Love and Thunder or something like that.
I don't know. I feel like literally every other movie is
bigger than this.
Yeah, this is the beginning of phase 4. Like, we haven't even started. We've barely started.
Damn, so none of you are interested in this movie? To me, it looks epic. It looks crazy.
I am. I would be like, whoa, this is crazy if this was its own IP, just like Casey said.
Yeah.
I don't know. Interested that you don't see much in these trailers, right? So I feel like they're playing this very close to the vest. So I am very curious about what the heck this movie actually is, because it's an IP most people don't really know, including myself, and what we're seeing is like very abstract. Like, we don't really have the real story yet. We have kind of big picture stuff, but we don't actually have what the story of this movie is.
I actually find it interesting because I find often in movies, and especially in trailers, and Steven Spielberg and J.J. Abrams will agree that they show too much. And I like that. Yeah. I don't personally know the story of the Eternals. I've looked up some stuff, but I like that this trailer kind of gives the general audience an idea of what they are and who they are and where this is going to go, because people are like, okay, where does this take place? After the snap, before the snap, Endgame? You know, people were kind of confused with, like, oh, we had Black Widow, but that took place beforehand. Who can keep count? But I like the cinematography, the way it was shot. I like all the colors. I like all the effects that are going on here. Like, some of them are a little wonky, but it's a trailer. There's still a lot of months to go. This thing's out in November. And I like since some of the characters and casting. I mean, this is a really good cast. I mean,
it's a real A-list of people, which is surprising because it's a real D-list of characters.
God, yeah.
You got one Avenger in this movie, Black Knight, who's fine. And I guess Cersei's also an Avenger. But I don't know. It's just, they're fine. You got it. Like, just in the 50 years that the Eternals have been around, you've got to give me something of more substance, like why I should be interested in these characters, right? What, like, they're really only up to the plate because nobody gave a shit about the Inhumans, you know, which is its own beast. But whatever. I don't know. I'd much rather see like a Hercules movie.
So based on your knowledge of the Eternals, like, you don't think that like they will. Like they fit in this phase of Marvel? You think they shouldn't be here and like they shouldn't go anywhere? You know, like they're being introduced. So, but you think they shouldn't be introduced at all, and then moving forward, they should just phase out?
I feel like if you're gonna do a movie that has to do with cosmic characters, you should save it for Fantastic Four or something, or you know.
Yeah, but it's
building up to that.
Well, hold on. Well, I mean, I don't think this Eternals movie is gonna build into anything Fantastic Four related. I don't know. I don't see how this builds into anything that isn't adjacent to the Eternals. I feel like none of this is going to matter because the real antagonist that they're setting up for all the other movies is going to be Kang the Conqueror. He's going to be in Ant-Man Quantumania. They're building the Young Avengers. One of the Young Avengers is a young version of Kang. Like, that's what they're shooting for. They're setting up Dark Avengers and they're setting up Young Avengers. And I don't see any way that the Eternals are going to have any sort of play on something bound to Earth and related to time, unless they're like, oh, we've been here all along. Like, we'll help you with Kang in the past.
And
like,
honestly, that's what I kind of like about this, is that I don't know where this is going to go, and I kind of like that because this seems like it's like its own compartmentalized movie. Like it has nothing to do with the rest of the MCU, except for the fact that there was the Thanos snap, and Salma Hayek's character mentions that. And even still too, it's crazy how they're aware of everything, but there's something that's happening in which they have to intervene, because we were told here in the trailer that they can't intervene unless there's something deviant related to humanity on Earth.
It's one of those character tropes that I just hate. It's like, oh, I'm an all-powerful hero that's been here all along, and I've stood by and done nothing. Like,
yeah, but the more interesting thing is that what's making them come out now. Like that's the thing that's driving the movie, and that's the hook. Are people like, wait a minute, if they haven't been here this whole time? And I've seen a lot of reactions where they're just like, wait a minute. So we have these characters that are really powerful. They haven't had any intervention in the Marvel Cinematic Universe until now. What could possibly bring them out? And that's that's the mystery box that I'm really interested in. Jay?
I'm gonna predict it right now, or take a really, really shit guess at. After they were destroyed, the Infinity Gems, they became personified, and this is them. How many Eternals are there?
There's 10 of them.
Oh, that's not too many.
That's 2 fists worth of.
That's 2 fists.
All right. So, okay, different prediction. Or who do you think is going to be the piece of shit of this group? You think someone's going to betray them? I think it's going to be Angelina Jolie. I think she's gonna betray.
I think it's gonna be the Rob Stark character, the guy who looks like and acts like Superman in this trailer.
He's definitely too straight laced.
You think so?
I would hedge my bets on Angelina Jolie's Thena.
Could be.
I think it's a Superman guy because they show him a lot in the trailer. Like he's almost like a through line. I'm like, why are you?
He's almost like the main character.
I don't know. Don't know.
He's gonna die in the first 10 minutes.
Yeah,
like the Suicide Squad.
He and his girlfriend in the movie are gonna get slaughtered at their wedding.
I wouldn't mind that at all. There's a run of Eternals going on right now that's sort of a murder mystery where they've been reincarnated by the Great Machine one last time.
The Great Machine.
And someone's still going around killing them.
Whoa.
But again, it's all very self-isolated. The answer is Thanos. Thanos is the one killing.
You know what? Screw it. Even though there's 10, they're still gonna get all turned into the gems. I know it. They're gonna new Infinity Stones. They're gonna take 4 of them and squish them into one, and they're gonna be like, "You're the mind gem."
And I wonder if they'll answer the question of like how they're going to answer the question of why did they not intervene with Thanos? Because in the comics, Thanos is he's like a deviant. He's like a subsect of the deviants, right?
Yeah, he's a Titan. He's a Titanian Eternal that has deviant syndrome. So apparently he's raised as one of the Eternals because his father and his mother were both Eternals, and he just came out kind of gross looking, and nobody liked him.
He came out looking like a grimace ball sack.
I mean, Thanos' origin story is kind of like, what if an ugly kid also became an edgelord? Like that's really what it is. Like he's got a brother that's like he's like super handsome. I don't even know if he's in this movie. Eros or Star Fox, also an Avenger. Thanos' brother, very
barrel roll.
Yeah, he's got date rape powers, which is super great. Yeah,
Yikes!
Very uncomfortable. But like I said, the Eternals not my favorite set of characters, really.
Well,
really.
I mean, if you think of like where we are right now in kind of the MCU, so they just had a giant run of all of these different properties that met up at the end with Endgame, and so we have like some characters that are like already there and established, but they have to start like establishing a bunch of other properties to meet up at the end. So like having something that kind of is out of sync with the rest of it kind of makes sense, because I mean the Guardians of the Galaxy were kind of the same thing. They were off doing their own thing until they brought them in together in Infinity War. But besides that, they were completely separate.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
you got to
I'll give you
start building your roster for the big, for the giant finale now, so that you have some stuff to play around with.
That's actually a really good good point.
I'm not gonna not see this movie. Don't get
You're
me wrong.
so against it. Casey's like, listen, Marvel, listen, Disney, it's trash.
Sure as the sun is gonna rise.
I'm a
Casey's
complete
gonna see
listen.
the
I'm a
Marvel
ride or
movie.
die Marvel shill. You know this.
Except
So I'm
for the
still gonna see
Eternals,
it.
in which he's like, this is complete trash.
I don't think
Casey's the only person that knows
the
who
movie is
Eternals
going to
are.
be bad. I'm just not interested in it.
Damn.
I'm really not.
Even after this
I mean,
trailer?
I wasn't. Yeah, it's like it doesn't have the same kind of hook that something like Shang-Chi does. Like Shang-Chi, it's like, all right, I don't, people don't really know this character. They got to take a lot of liberties with his origin because there's a bunch of copyright bullshit about it. Like, but then it's also like, all right, I'm gonna get a fucking sick martial arts movie, and the star is great. I mean, I loved him in Kim's Convenience. I'd love to see him in like a more traditional action role. Like, I'm excited about stuff like that. Like there's stuff to get attached to there. Here, it's like, I don't know, like, yeah, it's a bunch of great actors, but it's like a bunch of invincible cosmic people, and it's like, all right, like, fucking.
Well, I like that
cool.
because we're talking about how we liked how Marvel is going cosmic and they're going big. So, like, to me, it looks good because the fact that I don't know who they are, there's a big mystery. There's a lot of questions that need to be answered. Like, what have you been doing this whole time? Did you just awaken? Why don't you, help with the fight Thanos? What the hell were you guys in Endgame? What are you going to do moving forward? Are you going to intervene? Or are you going back to sleep? There's so many things here. I love how it's shot. I love how it looks. Like, I wasn't really, I would say, hyped for this, but this trailer really, really like got me going. Like, Marvel's doing a great
Hands
job
down
with the
the
last
best
few
trailer
days.
so far.
Yeah,
Hey, look, if it got you excited, then it achieved its purpose.
The only thing that didn't get me is that like it's so funny how Marvel and other trailers do this too. That little stinger at the end where it's like a joke is coming. I always find it interesting that like it can be like a mediocre joke, but people will like laugh their heads off. And I guess comedy's subjective, but like, yeah, I'm just like, yeah, but like, does anyone else like get that when you're expecting a joke or expecting something to come, it doesn't hit as well because it's almost like a Big Bang Theory laugh track. It's like, here's joke, here's punchline, laugh here, and it always happens in Marvel trailers. I'm just like, I get it, but
Yeah.
I don't know. I just find it odd.
IKEA table joke not doing it for you? Is that what you're trying to say?
Yeah. Also, what the hell, Disney? Like, well, what was his all? It's made out of vibranium. What? Because he's black? The hell's that? Come on. Like, what are we doing here? Come on.
You're not gonna let this go. Are you still hung up on the theory that every black person in the MCU is Wakanda?
Whoa! What are you talking about? I never said that. Whoa!
Yes, you did.
Whoa! What's
Don't
happening?
you pull that shit on me?
TV's
You
Casey.
know.
TV's Casey.
know.
At Twitter, TV's Casey.
You brought it up, man. You said Monica Rambeau was fucking Wakandan.
That's all the time we had for Marvel Studios'
you're the
Eternal
worst.
final trailer. Thank you all for
Unbelievable.
watching. Make sure to hit subscribe and like the video. We'll see you guys later. We'll see you another time. Peace.
Stop.